It's going to be another of those episodes where my nose is all sniffly.
Yeah. And you're chewing during the fucking podcast.
I love fucking pepperoncinis, man. They're so good.
They're really good.
They are really good.
They work well with tuna.
But they are a sometimes food, and the time is not during a podcast.
I'm talking about movies, not cheenies.
Movies, not cheenies.
I like calling them pepperoncinis rather than banana peppers, though.
Fuck banana peppers.
Why would you call them?
They're not shaped like bananas.
No,
Nor do they taste like banana.
There's nothing banana-like about them. They're not even the right shade of yellow.
Yeah, and pepperoncinis makes you sound more international. Like,
Yeah, it's like
Hey,
pepperoncini.
It looks really good on pizza. Jalapenos, pineapples, and pepperoni.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's a really good combo.
That's a true fact.
Yeah.
And bacon, if you can get it.
You know, bacon pizza is amazing, but you feel like
Just disgusting.
the worst human being in the world after you finish off a bacon pizza. You're like, oh my god.
The only way you can make your life more, sad is if you're eating a bacon pizza alone on Valentine's Day in, your underwear.
Right. Yeah, you're just crying into your mozzarella and thinking, my God, I'm going to die by the time I'm 38 of, massive coronary failure.
All right, now what's more of a pathetic food to eat alone? That or, fried chicken?
I honestly think bacon pizza is a better experience, but, it's worse because it's even more self-indulgent. Because you have to search it out.
Yeah.
Not Pizza Hut does not have a bacon
Fried
pizza.
chicken, you could drive 5 miles.
Right. Yeah, you have to go to the special pizzeria and order a medium bacon pizza for yourself, and then get it to go because you don't want anyone to know that no one else is eating it but you. You're
me and my girlfriend are eating this bacon pizza.
you better throw in some extra cheese and some extra forks. I don't know if I have enough for the whole, the kids soccer team that I'm eating this with.
But fried chicken, I feel is a little more depressing because it's all greasy and it's you don't really want to be around other people as you're eating fried chicken because it's so greasy anyways.
Yeah, Lord help you if you have to shake someone's hand after you've been eating fried chicken because they know. It's because their hand comes away coated in slime.
Yeah.
And it's just shaking.
It's like Ghostbusters, ectoplasm everywhere.
So welcome to the Swiftfilm show.
That was our semi-monthly depressing and embarrassing food conversation. We're not all awful fat asses.
My nose is really running. I'm sorry. Okay, anyways, hi. Welcome back to the Swiftfilm show. We watched, what was it?
Something good.
Something good. Something very good.
Well, yeah, so here's the thing. This movie weekend, shit.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's nothing good this weekend. Pompeii looks like the most awful shit ever. And, my capacity for watching awful shit has, gone way down as I've been, forced to subject myself to most of last summer. And we just came back from a break, and I don't want to kill the momentum. So we decided we were going to go see a real classic movie. The AMC Classic series was showing On The Waterfront.
Marlon Brando's big breakout movie.
Yeah. Well, Streetcar Called Desire was his big breakout movie. This was his first Oscar-winning role.
This is the cement.
Yeah, this cemented it. If you thought Streetcar was a fluke, you saw him in On the Waterfront, and you're like, oh my God, Marlon Brando! And then he got an Oscar, and that was, they were off to the races at that point. But yeah, what a great movie this is. Even 60 some odd years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About a former prize fighter, boxer, who becomes a longshoreman on the New York waterfront and has to deal with his corrupt bosses, Johnny Friendly.
In the Union.
Yeah, so what basically the premise of this is that when he was a prize fighter, Johnny Friendly was owned him, as a prize fighter, and in his his match that would have led to a championship match, he was told to take a dive. He did, and he was rewarded with a place in sort of this corrupt organization that runs the New York docks and decides who works and who doesn't among the longshoremen. And at the start of the movie, there is a murder, which Brando's character
sets up.
Terry, he's sort of involved with because he's the one that lures the guy out to where he's pushed off of a ledge and killed. So Brando obviously is he's conflicted about this, but he also owes a lot to the the organization on that runs the waterfront
because his brother's in it.
And Friendly also gives him all kinds of perks because he's part of the he's one of them. So he's kind of wrestling with his conscience, but his natural desire to sort of keep his head down, don't make waves, don't snitch. There's a strong don't snitch. They call it D&D. They're all deaf and dumb on the waterfront. Or you're a canary, and he doesn't want to be a canary. So it's kind of him coming to terms with his conscience and eventually deciding to roll on his boss after a series of events.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think of this movie? I mean, I've seen it many times. I don't think Donovan's seen it at all.
I haven't seen it for...
That was my first time, yeah.
I haven't seen it for a long time, and I forgot how good it was. Mm-hmm. Especially Marlon Brando.
So amazing
almost a level above everyone else in the movie.
And there's some great performances in this movie, too. The actor who plays the priest, who is like trying to agitate for change on the docks, he gives a great nuanced performance.
Despite everyone kind of like not cooperating. Even
the people he wants to save are like, what are you doing?
You're gonna get us killed.
You're gonna get us killed. We don't snitch on the docks. The person that raises their head just gets chopped off.
Yeah.
And but he's sort of agitating. He's like, why are you doing this to yourselves? You're better than this. You need to help yourselves. That's a really great role. But yeah, Brando outshines that, even though he doesn't really have the huge fireworks. He doesn't have as many lines because he's kind of actually a fairly quiet character.
Yeah. He relies a lot on his facial expressions and his reactions.
Yeah, and the way he walks and like the way he kind of reacts to things that are happening in the it's a real display of just like next level acting.
Really nuanced acting too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it reminds us of a certain actor that's
yeah, well, I mean, I've said pretty much since Drive
that it's Jaden Smith. Marlon Brando reminds you of a lot of Jaden Smith.
Yes, Jaden Smith.
His After Earth performance was just amazing.
But yeah, Jaden Smith is going to Jaden Smith as Kai in After Earth. Really like Brando in The Godfather.
Really nuanced, really powerful.
He does a weird accent.
Controls a room with a single glance.
Yeah, Jaden Smith is going places. But no, of course we jest.
I think I just gave myself indigestion.
Yeah, no. Brando, particularly early Brando, in movies like On the Waterfront, Streetcar Named Desire, has this sort of effortless cool about him. And this ability to just sort of focus everything on a scene with him, even when he's not saying anything. Just the way he sort of walks and the expressions on his face and the way he does things. It's just, it's electric. And I think Ryan Gosling has kind of the same thing. And I said that, and they both laughed. But I was like, you need to go back and watch some of it. Because, if you're mostly familiar with Brando from Godfather, it's not the same Brando,
Yeah.
He's an amazing actor, but his energy is very different. Early Brando is very similar to the way Gosling is in things like Drive, and particularly in Place Behind the Pines.
Yeah, there are some reactions he has in Place Beyond the Pines that are almost identical to Marlon Brando's in On the Waterfront.
A lot of the beginning movie, like Marlon Brando's character Terry, just because he doesn't really have a stake in anything that's going on around him because he's being taken care of by the mob.
Yeah.
Just kind of like that nonchalant, like I don't give a fuck.
There's a scene.
Is a lot. You saw a lot of that in that gangster movie that we saw last year.
Yeah.
Gangster Squad.
Yeah, Gangster Squad.
Which is a terrible
How
movie.
could I forget that name?
Yeah, which is a terrible movie.
But you do see a lot of that kind of effortless, I don't give a fuck sort of cool from...
Yeah, the best scenes in the movie are Gosling, and it's partly because he's just doing this kind of like cool, nonchalant thing that you see from Brando. Like, there's a scene where the mob boss, so the priest has gathered together some of the dissatisfied longshoremen to sort of for a meeting in the basement of the church to say, you know, you guys need to stand up for yourselves, and the first thing you need to do is tell us who killed Johnny. The mob boss sends Brando there to spy, and so he just sort of sits in the back of the pier, and he's like kind of spread out. He has like this little smirk on his face, and it's very, you know, it's an interesting contrast from that, where he's kind of he's like trying to project that cool in that scene. Like it's like it's an act, you know, because 2 scenes before you see him sort of conflicted and stuff like that, but right there, he's there as a representative of the organization, and he's, you know, putting on his game face, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting, and I think you see some of that in you know some of Gosling's roles, particularly lately. You know, as he's moved more away from sort of the romantic lead type of stuff he's done since The Notebook.
Yeah, more into indie, powerful stuff.
Yeah.
So keep up the cool.
Well, the thing is, though, I mean, like, you know, Brando at this stage of his career was already pretty much considered a pretty serious actor, you know, a pretty serious heavy hitter.
And one of the best of his...
Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, On the Waterfront was really only like maybe his 4th or 5th film role, but he made such an impact with Streetcar that people were like, this is a guy we need to take seriously. Gosling, I don't think people see him that way yet.
No.
You know, because he hasn't really had that breakout role, and like, unlike Brando, who started his career with a bang, he kind of eased into it with a lot of like...
Remember the Titans?
Yeah. Yeah, that's The Notebook, you know.
Ryan Gosling was in Remember the Titans.
Yeah. Just,
that's right, yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily bad movies, but not on the same caliber that you would take him seriously as an actor. And, you know, I think that, you know, and the fact that he's seen as like a heartthrob, you know, that kind of works against you when you're trying to get serious roles, because people only really see you as a strong romantic lead.
And then they'll market you as such. It's like, we can get every woman to sit in this theater, and they'll bring their boyfriends.
Yeah, right. And they'll buy concessions.
Yeah.
You know, because their boyfriend will buy the milk duds because they're so bored and they need something to...
to keep their mouths shut from going, oh.
Oh, God. Nobody talks like that. You know? But, yeah, anyway. So, I feel like Gosling needs a role like that.
You're a bird, Husain?
Yeah.
Okay, can I just say that I watched the, what is it? Not the Honest Trailer, it's the other one. No, the movie, Everything Wrong with the Notebook earlier. And it is... No, John's right. No one talks like that.
Yeah.
Stop writing like shit like that.
Yeah.
No one speaks like this.
Nicholas Sparks. You son of a gun.
Nicholas fucking Sparks.
Can we just say that I'm glad, like, we're kind of like at the end of that curve of Nicholas Sparks movies to Nicholas Sparks books to movies doing well.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that that's over.
That's not a thing.
Yeah.
That franchise is not as strong. Yeah. Anyway, so Gosling's the next Brando. We're calling it.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen eventually. All he needs is a breakout role. He needs his On the Waterfront.
Maybe when DiCaprio slows down.
Yeah, well,
Then
because
he
it's
Or moves
interesting.
into like directing or something.
It's interesting because I think DiCaprio really followed a similar, not like a Brando trajectory, more of a Gosling trajectory,
Yeah.
where a lot of his early shit was, you know, he played a retarded kid. And that was like one of his early roles, you know, and he worked into like, you know, this complete schlock like the Romeo plus Juliet.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. And, you know, and he's still in Baz Luhrmann movies. He isn't completely put behind him, but, you know, he didn't really get taken serious as a serious actor until much later in his career.
I think Aviator might be the first one where people were like, you know what, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Despite Aviator being a shitty movie.
Well, but
His performance was great.
is great, and it got nominated for a lot of stuff. It didn't necessarily, it didn't necessarily win, but it was in the mix.
Yeah.
That year, and that's kind of what you need, at least, to start your career. And then, you know, he started doing really good stuff after that. You know, yeah. So I feel that like Gosling's at kind of a similar position, but he hasn't had that one role that'll really cement him.
Yeah, and he probably won't lose one of his Oscars either.
Yeah. That's a fun bit of trivia about this. So this was Brando's first Oscar for best actor. And he lost or had stolen his Oscar and didn't see it again until much later.
He didn't even know until
he didn't even know.
Like a charity called him.
A charity called him. Like it was a London auction house called him because it was coming up for auction and they wanted him to like verify it or something. So that was how he got his Oscar back. Because it was just kicking around on the black market, I guess, for a while.
That's so weird. Speaking of Oscars,
they're
coming up in 7 days. Well, by the time you hear this, it'll be like 5 days. But
yeah,
this week.
This week, essentially.
I'm excited. I have to say, I'm really excited to see.
It's a good year for the Oscars.
It's unpredictable.
Yeah,
but we're gonna do that.
There is such a deep bench of talent in pretty much every category that it's really hard to call in a lot of cases. But
we're going to do it.
As a service to you, dear listener, we will call the Oscars. This is the definitive Oscar prediction show. You don't need to listen to anyone else.
Don't even read anything.
Don't read anything else.
Well,
except for the Swiftfilm predictions, which will be up later.
But
I'm not going to endorse reading. Not, and you should read other things. Particularly other websites, which I won't name, but it's fine.
Yeah, well... Yeah.
Unless you're not from the San Francisco Bay Area, it's fine.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But that being said, this is how we see it. So the first one, let's look at Best Picture first, right? So here are the nominees. We got American Hustle, Captain Phillips.
Should we save that for last?
I'm starting there, but
start big.
Fuck it. Right out the gate. We gotta hook them.
Yeah. This is the way the Academy lists them. This is the way we're just going down the list, Husain. We don't give that many fucks.
Yeah, you gotta hook them, Husain.
Yeah, that's
You're right.
true.
You know what I mean? Like we start with
would you like us to start with sound design?
Yeah. We're gonna start with costume design. That'll get people to listen on.
That one Victorian movie none of you saw.
I had a pick for that.
The award that always goes to whatever period drama.
The most Downton
period
Abbey
drama of the year goes
pretty much, yeah. All right,
so Downton Abbey-esque movie.
So all right, so there's a lot of nominees here.
9.
We've got 9. It's an expanded year actually. They don't usually have this many, I think.
No, this was about even for the past couple of years.
Yeah, for the past couple of years, but we're deep bench. American Hustle, Captain Phillips, Dallas Buyers Club, Gravity, Her, Nebraska, Philomena, 12 Years a Slave, and Wolf of Wall Street. Wow. How do you decide out of that?
Well, kick American Hustle out first.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's good, not that great.
The more I think about it, the more I'm like, eh.
Yeah, because
American Hustle?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I saw Philomena recently, and I'm like, damn, this is really good. Like it's good directing, it's good writing.
See that Steve Coogan.
It's good directing, it's good writing, and it's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
And like Judi Dench and Coogan, great in it.
And Judi Dench is amazing.
Yeah.
American Hustle. I really can't see what everyone loves about it so much.
I think the only thing it's the 70s. The 70s are really hot right now. It's got a good cast.
It's got Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper, who's
Jennifer Lawrence.
So hot right now. Both of them. So hot right now.
They dress well too.
They dress well.
Bradley Cooper knows French.
Bradley Cooper knows French. All of these things, I think, contributed to this being nominated when it really didn't deserve it. And it had a lot of... I think part of it was everyone was like, oh my God, this is going to be the most amazing movie before they even saw it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of face-saving. Oh, we have to nominate it anyway, even though it didn't actually turn out that well.
It's also a more PC Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
So, like, people who liked the ideas behind Wolf of Wall Street but didn't like all the craziness.
Or the fact that it was like 3.5 hours long.
Yeah. I still yet to see that movie because I still can't justify wasting an entire Sunday.
I love the shit out of it.
Yeah, all right. So what are our predictions?
I'm going to go with 12 Years a Slave.
Okay.
I think it's probably the most important fictional movie of the year. It's really good. It's technically great.
Amazing, yeah.
I think that's going to be it. I think, it's the best slavery movie of all time, I think. I can't think of anything.
Best slavery movie.
I think I'm going to go 12 Years a Slave. I think it has, Oscar momentum.
Yeah, it certainly does. What do you think, Donovan?
What's the list? Wow, that's so many movies. From the ones I've seen, I haven't seen Her, and I haven't seen Wolf, and I haven't seen Dallas Buyers Club. But out of the ones I have seen, I might have to say Philomena. It is that good. Just like as a complete package, I'm with you. I'm with Husain. It is really, really important culturally to see 12 Years a Slave, but Philomena is just a more fulfilling movie experience.
So it's a more complete movie experience.
Yeah.
Well, keeping in mind, I haven't seen Philomena. It's actually the only one on this list I haven't seen. But I would say I think I have to give it to 12 Years a Slave. I mean, it seems kind of trite to do the
Make America Feel Bad movie.
The Make America Feel Bad, but then feel a little bit better about human dignity type of movie.
Yeah.
But 12 Years a Slave is a tremendous film, and it's just well directed. It's important. It has things to say. It's paced perfectly across the board. The performances are great. Keeping in mind, I don't necessarily always like that style of acting as much as others. But yeah, it's just a great film all around. And when I look at
Best Picture or Best Director?
Best Picture.
Yeah.
I
don't know, man. I could go so many directions on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a really strong field.
Yeah.
When I look at it, all of these other movies are great. All of them are sort of flawed in some way. Of the ones I've seen, keeping in mind I have not seen Philomena. 12 Years a Slave. There's really nothing there to say that it fell down on. You know what I mean? And I can't say that really for any of these other movies. Keeping in mind I haven't seen Philomena.
All right, next one.
All right, next, let's go actor in a lead role.
Well, the nominees are...
And the nominees are... Christian Bale for American Hustle, Bruce Dern for Nebraska, Leonardo DiCaprio, Wolf of Wall Street, Chiwetel Ejiofor for 12 Years a Slave, and Matthew McConaughey in Dallas Buyers Club.
Good pronunciation on Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah, that was impressive.
That was good.
Yeah,
that was really good.
That was off the cuff, too. I had not practiced that.
If that was me, I would have been like, that guy from 12 Years a Slave. I really want to learn how to pronounce your name, but I'm sorry, I can't.
I'm going to go with Leo. I'm going to say this is finally his year.
This is his year.
He's going to do it.
He did it.
He's going to do it.
Okay. I'm going to say Leo, too, honestly. Keeping in mind, I don't think Wolf of Wall Street is the greatest movie per se, but he's so good in that role, and he brings just a likability to that character who's just a complete shitbag that it wouldn't have otherwise. You get to see just like a range of emotions, range of
comedy,
amazing physical comedy,
like really good.
Who knew that Leonardo DiCaprio could do physical comedy? But apparently he can.
Oh, have you never seen Growing Pains, John?
Okay,
thank you.
Yeah,
please let us not forget.
Lest we forget. Yeah. So I'm gonna give it to Leo. That's just a virtuosic performance, and he's so fun to watch on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Donovan?
12 Years a Slave.
Chiwetel Ejiofor, who you cannot pronounce his name.
That guy.
Okay.
I really my mouth does not work like that. I'm sorry. My brain, just as someone coming from like a complicated name, I'm really sorry I can't pronounce it, but I hope everyone understands.
Your heart is there, but your mouth is not following.
I could not say the word cinnamon until I was 8. Okay, there are just too many vowels and too many consonants in a row. It's just not happening. I'm just not going to embarrass myself.
Okay. Anything you want to say about Chiwetel Ejiofor? I'm just going to say it because I can, and I've discovered
good, right? Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah, I can't say that.
I've discovered that I could say it. I didn't think I could. It was like a deep test of my inner metal that I passed. What do you want to say about him?
Chiwetel
Ejiofor.
Yeah, the speech impediment's coming back. I can't say that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Him. Chewa. I'll just call him
Chewy. Call him Chewy.
Okay. No, he was just really, really good in it. He carried that movie on his back, and it was so good because of him. And I think they found I've never seen a movie that I can remember so I can't remember. This is the movie that I think nailed casting absolutely right, because I don't think anyone else could have done that good of a job with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was a huge role, and he rose to fill it.
Yeah, he
actually made it better than it would have been otherwise.
Yeah, he muscled that, and I'm really happy that director gave him kind of like, because this, like, he's been, like we said when we saw 12 Years, he's been in a lot of things, but he's always kind of been in the background, and I'm really, really happy. But we've always really liked him.
Yeah,
and I'm really happy that he has like a flagship movie now, and I hope he gets more leading roles.
Right.
So,
all right, you want to do actress now?
Yeah,
sure.
Correct.
All right, we'll do actress. The nominees are Amy Adams for American Hustle, Kate Blanchett in Blue Jasmine, Sandra Bullock in Gravity, Judi Dench, Philomena, and Meryl Streep in August Osage County.
I'm going to go with Kate Blanchett. I've been rallying her for all year.
You have been on Team Blanchett since you saw this movie.
You've been on Team Blue Jasmine all year.
She is so good in Blue Jasmine. It's insane. She's portraying this this person who's just broken down. Her husband was like a Bernie Madoff figure. And she's portraying this person who's slowly breaking down throughout the entire movie. And it's just so much fun to watch her just break down. And
it's so much fun to watch her life fall apart.
Yeah, it is. She makes it like... Because she's so hateable but likable, and you kind of want to hope for her, but she's a terrible person at the same time. She's great. Go Blanchett.
Go Blanchett. I'm going to say, honestly, Sandra Bullock for Gravity. And I have said before, I don't necessarily think it's the most amazing performance I've ever seen. It's certainly a very good performance.
It's difficult, what she did.
Well, but that's the thing. Is the difficulty level when you're hanging from the ceiling in a green screen room
there's a glass box she was in.
In a glass box with no one around except stone-faced, like cameraman and, like, the sound guy holding the boom. And you still deliver a great performance into the void. Like, that is like, like next level. Like she was doing it on like impossible mode.
Yeah, it was
no cheat codes.
Yeah,
and I don't mind the fact that maybe she fell down a couple times because damn, that was a challenge.
Yeah, like so many odds were stacked against her to do that well of a performance. I'm with you.
Yeah,
that's my pick too.
Yeah, all right, for the same reasons.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, she was just playing you guys remember like in Devil May Cry 2 when that came out and then like you had to unlock easy mode? Yes. Yeah, she had to unlock easy mode for that movie.
Right. That was the end of the movie. Was her emerging into
easy mode.
Into easy mode after going through all that
location. Wow.
yeah, pretty much.
Right. Oh man.
Things around me that I can interact with.
Yeah, so just that a hell of a challenge, very important. No disrespect to anyone else in this category, because this is probably one of the more stacked categories in a very stacked year.
Yeah.
Amy Adams was great. She's the best thing about American Hustle.
Yep.
Yeah. She really carried that movie too. Like Christian Bale was like kind of like the lovable like bad guy in that movie. But she was really kind of the lovable person in that movie.
Yeah,
and that terrible...
All of the emotional weight of that movie turned on Amy Adams.
Yeah, she's like the point guard for that movie.
Yeah, no, and like in a movie full of like just terrible people, you liked her the most.
Yeah. All right, let's do one that's a real easy one. Actor in a supporting role. The nominees are Barkhad Abdi for Captain Phillips, Bradley Cooper in American Hustle, Michael Fassbender, 12 Years a Slave, Jonah Hill, The Wolf of Wall Street, and Jared Leto in Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh man, this is such a tough category. Jared Leto.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, no offense to anyone else on this list, particularly Michael Fassbender, who's really good as the villain of 12 Years a Slave, but Jared Leto, man.
I think he's the one person you can say that has locked it down. He's won like every award all year in this category,
and it's just an amazing performance. Granted, some people are like criticizing it because, well, why did you get like a straight man to play a gay character? But shut up. It's like he did a really good job in this role, and it was, it was a role that could be very cartoonish.
Yeah,
but he brought kind of a depth of humanity to it that really was the best part about Dallas Buyers Club, which was kind of an uneven film in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's more of a problem with the casting director rather than his performance.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't see Dallas Buyers Club, but I'm gonna have to agree just on like the amount of like holy shit everyone is talking about that performance.
Yeah. But you really like Michael Fassbender of the things that you did
I thought
see.
Michael Fassbender was a really, really good villain.
But yeah.
I think it would be a strong contender. It would be a winner in every other year.
Yeah.
But
Every
That's
other
true.
year.
That's true.
And the same thing with 12 with Captain Phillips too.
Yeah.
He was like
Yes.
for like a breakout performance to hold your own against a titan of cinema like Tom Hanks. That's impressive.
Yeah,
Like, you have to remember, this guy was a limousine driver a year ago.
Yeah.
Right, and no previous film credits, no real didn't go to acting school, but yeah, a very like humanizing performance, and
Yeah, and like that's the thing too. It's like that's what I really liked about that character was that he brought. It would have been really really easy to make him kind of like an Osama bin Laden cartoon on
Right.
South Park, but the acting and the writing in that just really kind of it.
Yeah, you
it brought
felt for him.
it brought it up to a level that you could. Okay, it's like yeah, if I was in that situation, I would understand why you're doing that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the best Captain Phillips was at its best when it was really playing him and Tom Hanks off of each other
Yeah.
and showing that they're really kind of the same guy in very different circumstances.
Right, like
Yeah.
they're both just trying to do their job. They're both just trying to go home.
They just want to get home. They just want to do their job. They want to look out for their crew.
Yeah.
It was really kind of a tale of two captains, and for him to hold up at his end against Tom Hanks,
Amazing.
amazing. Yeah. All right, so let's go on to another role that for me, I personally think there's not really much of a, but you guys might disagree. Actress in a supporting role.
Mm-hmm.
So our nominees here are Sally Hawkins for Blue Jasmine, Jennifer Lawrence in American Hustle, Lupita Nyong'o for 12 Years a Slave, Julia Roberts in August Osage County, and June Squibb in Nebraska.
I have two thoughts about this category.
Me too.
First, I prefer June Squibb to win.
Uh-huh.
I think she could, but I think the winner will be Lupita Nyong'o.
I kind of feel the same way. I think June Squibb deserves it.
Yeah.
I think her performance was better than Lupita Nyong'o's, but that Lupita Nyong'o's performance was really kind of more of the type of the performance that you look for in a winner for this category.
Yeah.
Okay, I lied. I have 3 thoughts on this.
Okay.
Yes, for Lupita Nyong'o. I think June Squibb should win. I don't think Jennifer Lawrence deserves to be nominated.
No,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yes, you're
That
right.
is just cashing in on Hollywood darling right now. Like, I get it. You're good. You won an Academy Award. But sorry, this one you don't get one for.
That and it really felt like that was a character that really didn't need to be much more than a minor character, but then they cast Jennifer Lawrence.
Oprah Winfrey syndrome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was Oprah Winfrey syndrome, and it really detracted from the focus when what was already a very scattered and all over the place movie.
Yeah, and the thing is too is when I encouraged my mom to go see American Hustle, and she says the 2 things that she said to me was I don't get it, but I wanted more Jennifer Lawrence, and I'm like, well, I think I explained to her, I'm like, she's the worst character, and then she's like, yeah, she totally didn't need to be in that movie, and for my mom who's just my middle-aged mom who's just kind of your every person movie watcher that goes yeah, totally not needed in that movie.
Well, here's the thing. It's I have nothing against Jennifer Lawrence. I think she's an amazing actress. I think she has a long, and very prolific career ahead of her. And this movie really just didn't do her any favors. It was a shitty character. It didn't need to be there, and they shoved her into more scenes than she needed to be in. And she did a great job with what she had, but in the end, it was just kind of a mess. And I'm not sure,
Yeah,
it's not really her fault, really. It was just flawed from the outset.
No, and the thing is too is so much of the movie that should have been Bradley Cooper, Amy Adams, and Christian Bale, and then interjecting more of Jennifer Lawrence's character just detracted from that, and it made it a weaker movie.
Yeah, no, Jennifer Lawrence made that movie worse. Not her fault, but her character...
It was definitely the writing of it. It's oh man, we got Jennifer Lawrence, okay, hang on.
Yeah, the character definitely detracted from the film. All right, so now that's kind of the big ones. Do you want to do directing?
Yeah, let's do director.
All right, let's do director.
Yeah.
Why are you smiling? It's we're not going to argue.
I like
with you.
directors.
Okay.
Directors are fun, that's why.
And if you smile, even when you're on the phone, even when you're on a podcast, people can hear it in your voice.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, directing. The field is for American Hustle, David O. Russell.
That's so. I love how that rhymes.
American Hustle, David O. Russell. Yeah, it even has the right amount of syllables.
You guys are the worst. Just keep going.
For Gravity, Alfonso Cuarón. For Nebraska, Alexander Payne. For 12 Years a Slave, Steve McQueen. And for The Wolf of Wall Street, Martin Scorsese.
Husain?
Well, I love Marty. But I love Steve McQueen, too. I'm a big fan of his.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with Alfonso Cuarón.
Really?
Is it just so you could roll that R?
No,
Okay.
but that was a nice side effect.
Okay.
I think I love 12 Years a Slave. I think it's the best picture winner. But what Alfonso Cuarón did with Gravity is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He made something that not many people can see. He made a blockbuster entertain theater experience.
It took, and like the thing is too, to like make that movie work, he had to have a level of vision and control over that vision.
Yeah, and it's a director's movie. It's all the director.
Yeah.
There's not much else going on. It's all him manipulating the camera and making it as intense as crazy.
I mean, he took a lot of risks. I mean, let's remember there was an 11-minute opening shot.
Right.
That was one take.
Right. Yeah, and it's you're right. It is a director's movie. It's the sort of movie where it's really, the performances are good in that. Don't get me wrong.
Story's okay.
The story was good. The writing is good,
Yeah.
but it's really the director knowing how to sort of move the pieces around and put it together that made that. Yeah. That being said, I just think 12 Years a Slave is an amazing accomplishment, and I think it is all honestly an accomplishment of directing. Just some of the way that some of the shots are planned out, the ballsiness to have that.
Yeah, it's brave.
Some of the things that happen in that movie, particularly the scene where he's hanging for the whole day.
Yeah,
that is just so powerful, and the some of the long shots without a whole lot of dialogue. It's constructed in a way that is not only breathtaking but really, really brave, because it's not a movie that takes the easy way out, and it's not a movie that is undemanding of viewers, which is just so refreshing to see. Because I think when, as a director, as a writer, you are willing to force audiences to do things that are uncomfortable, I think audiences will surprise people in how willing they are to sort of give themselves over emotionally to a movie like that. And that's what happened in 12 Years a Slave, and I just think it's great. So I'm going to go Steve McQueen on that one.
and even the way he approaches slavery as an institution where everyone was the problem.
Yeah,
there
because-
wasn't any saviors.
Yeah, he could. I mean, except Brad Pitt's character.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Canadian.
the Canadian.
Oh, Canada.
The white guy that comes and saves everyone. Yeah,
Um,
ultimately. But yeah, that's the one black mark on that movie. But I gotta say, I just loved that movie and loved what Steve McQueen did in it.
I'm going to agree. I think I agree with everything Husain said, and I think Gravity deserves as much as 12 Years a Slave does, but his directing in Steve McQueen's directing in 12 Years a Slave is just so unapologetic to what it's doing that it's like, listen, I'm sorry, I know this is hard to watch, but this is like it's just so not self-righteous, because that brings the wrong connotation to it, but it's so like ballsy, like John said. It just unapologetic in what it does, and it took a lot of risks, and there's a lot of scenes where it's like, where he's hanging for 8 minutes.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could really go to anyone.
It really could, though. Honestly, I mean, the fact that we didn't like American Hustle, but the fact that it is David O. Russell and it is
Third time nominated.
There's a lot, and there's a lot riding on this film. There's a lot of politics behind this film. He could easily get either Best Director or Best Picture.
Yeah, I think it's the second time a director has had someone nominated in each of the 4 acting categories.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's
a sign that something of something. I don't know what it is.
We don't know what it is, but it's something.
I mean, The Wolf of Wall Street. Granted, great movie.
Martin
Has
Scorsese
some
doesn't
flaws.
need another Oscar.
But it's Martin Scorsese, it's like it's hard to bet against Scorsese.
Yeah.
And it was a really fun film. It was about an hour and a half too long, but it was a fun movie. And then the one we didn't talk about, Nebraska, which was, I think, we're in agreement, was one of the nicest films we saw in 2013.
It is my favorite movie of 2013.
Yeah.
It's just any other year.
yeah. And it also doesn't necessarily seem like the sort of movie that the Oscars really recognize.
Honestly, it's
so
a
small.
black and white movie about Nebraska.
It's a small movie. It's a personal movie. It's a tremendously funny movie, but not in the sort of normal cinematic type of funny.
I'm honestly impressed that it's nominated as much as it is.
Yeah, that was a very pleasant surprise for me.
Yeah, but it'll probably only win screenplay probably.
Yeah, speaking of which, you want to go to best original screenplay?
Yeah, let's
Sure.
do it.
The writers, the unsung heroes.
We're writers. All three of us are writers, but
The unsung heroes of all of media.
yeah,
They really are.
they really are. All right, so honestly,
Stroke our ego more, gentlemen.
yes, high fives all around. Go writing, go English language. I don't think this is as strong of a field, honestly, but the nominees are American Hustle, written by Eric Warren Singer and David O. Russell. Blue Jasmine, written by Woody Allen. Dallas Buyers Club, written by Craig Borton and Melissa Wallach. And Her, written by Spike Jones. And Nebraska, written by Bob Nelson.
Well, Woody Allen isn't winning.
You don't think Woody
No.
Allen's
No.
Not after the...
Not after... Yeah, that's true.
No one's going to vote for
There's
him.
so much, that is just so much, political hot water right now. That's
Yeah.
not happening.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Spike Jones. Her is beautiful. I really liked Her. That movie's not going to get anything else. I think they're going to go give him screenplay.
Yeah,
Just because of how unique and to
It's
the
not-
times it is.
Yeah, I think it's going to be kind of like what happened in last year with or was it last year with the last Oscars with
Quentin Tarantino?
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That there's no way in hell that movie is winning Best Picture, but Best Writer, sure. I think you're right. That might happen with Her. If I had my druthers, it would be Nebraska, because I just think it's just a wonderful film, and a lot of what's so good about it is just the writing is so funny in like such a refreshingly non-Hollywood way. Like the scene where they're just sitting and no one's talking, they're all watching TV. It was hilarious, and it's like that's the sort of scene. It's like on paper you don't realize why that would be so funny, but to then go and write that scene anyway, just shows a lot of ingeniousness on the part of the writers. Obviously the one that was kind of robbed this year, I think, is Inside Llewellyn Davis.
Yeah.
I think if I was going to give it anything, I would probably, writing. I think it was.
It got
really
robbed
well.
almost everywhere.
It did.
Because I'm sorry, a movie with a subtitle of Inside Llewyn Davis, asshole who gets what he deserves, don't win movies.
Right, it's true. Yeah, yeah, and it falls into that precipice of it. If a movie has an unlikable character, I don't think Hollywood gives audiences credits enough for getting behind unlikable characters.
I didn't see this with you. I saw this on my own, and I immediately text you both. It's like, wow, that movie sucked. And it's like, it was good, but it was like, man, it was just so depressing.
Yeah, it's an incredibly depressing film. But that's probably why it didn't get nominated, because the movies that are unrelentingly bleak don't tend to win Oscars.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you know what? Segueing to what I think will win, and I've already said this before, you can do those movies that are depressing, but Nebraska is so good, and the writing is so good because, like we were saying about Gravity, is that he had to have a vision and so much control over that vision of the message he wanted to give.
Mm-hmm.
And the writing in Nebraska is very much that sort of thing. They had a clear vision of this is what family is, and this is how people really act with each other.
And the dialogue is so true to how people talk.
Yeah.
And the thing is, so it's exactly what was done with 12. Wait, I'm sorry, not 12 years. Well, that too, but what that was done with Gravity, where you had to have a clear vision of the whole thing and execution on that whole movie. Nebraska does with its script. He had to have such control over those characters and why they're saying the things they are, and then execution on the way it was written. It was so good.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Nebraska's definitely the one that deserves to win. I'm with you. I think her could be the eventual winner, but just because of, meta political shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I had my druthers, Nebraska, I mean, it deserves something, and because it's such a good film and it's so enjoyable. Like, there were very few movies this year that I just sort of walked out like feeling like good, and with like a big smile on my face, and Nebraska was one of those. So we've done original screenplay. You want to do adapted screenplay?
Why not?
That's getting to be a more a bigger deal now when everything is fucking adapted from
Hey,
something
John,
else.
what movie do you think should be in a best adapted screenplay?
What movies should be in a best adapted screenplay?
What movie should have been nominated?
Oh yeah, speaking of huge fucking robberies and travesties against justice,
This is a crime against humanity.
a crime against fiction.
Or nonfiction.
Or nonfiction, as the case may be. Pain and Gain, no nominations. So mad. It does everything Wolf of Wall Street does, but like 150 times better. It's more entertaining. It's smarter. Like, it's a smarter movie than Wolf of Wall Street. It's more subtle than Wolf of Wall Street.
It's because Michael Bay is there.
Yeah.
Michael Bay has his name on the movie, so no one cares.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was more subtle because of Michael Bay. I was like,
visionary director Michael Bay. Like I've said before, I think this is like his natural born killer. It is so insightful, and it cuts to the bone of what's wrong with American capitalism in a way that Wolf of Wall Street only wishes it did. But, it's a Michael Bay movie, and it came out at the beginning of the year, so it had everything working against it.
Transformers 4, Age of Extinction.
And he's going to go right from that back to Transformers. So
fuck it, I know what I'm good at.
Yeah, right.
No one will take me seriously. I'll just play with my explosions.
That's the problem.
I'm gonna put Optimus Prime on a dinosaur.
That's the problem.
That's awesome, though.
Michael Bay, like, he stuck his neck out to make something artistic and well done, and got shit on for it. He's just going to go back and play with his toys.
He's
now.
like that basketball player in high school who came out in drama and was like, "Oh, he's a really good actor. Get back at the basketball court, jerk." It's like,
exactly.
Fine.
Exactly. He's going to be back playing with his Transformers again.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
God damn it.
That being said, the actual nominees in this category.
You coming back down off your soapbox, John?
Yeah. Now that my blood pressure's gone down a little bit, Before Midnight, written by Richard Linklater, Julie Delpy, and Ethan Hawke. Mm-hmm. Captain Phillips, written by Billy Ray. Philomena, written by Steve Coogan and Jeff Pope. 12 Years a Slave, written by John Ridley. And Wolf of Wall Street by Terrence Winter.
That's a good little
Good
batch.
year. That's a good year.
Wow.
Like I said, I think that's a much stronger field than the original screenplays.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason is just everything is... Things that would have been an original screenplay before, they find some, like, news article or memoir...
Or it's a sequel.
That they just stick it to so that it becomes a adapted screenplay.
Wow.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Philomena's that good.
Okay.
Yeah. Done.
Yeah.
Go.
You've already
I've seen
said.
Philomena.
We haven't seen it, so we can't argue with you.
Before Midnight is really good. Mm-hmm. And that movie is all script.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go with 12 Years a Slave.
Mm-hmm. You know what? For this one, I think I'm going to go Captain Phillips, because...
I think that's our first three-way split, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The things that are good about 12 Years a Slave are not necessarily the writing. I think that the dialogue particularly is hokey at times.
Actually,
And
you know what? I'm going to go Before Midnight.
Okay.
I'm going Before Midnight. I like that script better.
You're going out on a limb. All right, yeah. I think 12 Years a Slave will win it, but I don't necessarily think it deserves it, because I think the things that are great about that movie are the performances and the sort of overall directing, not necessarily the dialogue or even the plot. So I'm going to say Captain Phillips, because, like I said, I like that Captain Phillips took what could have been a very one-sided hoorah, go America type movie,
Yeah.
USA.
and made it sort of a deep a deeper meditation on, sort of a clash of societies and things like that. It didn't do it all one way. It humanized the sort of terrorist figures, which is a big deal. Yeah, so it's just a smarter script than it had a right to be. So that's why I'm going to say Captain Phillips.
Philomena. That's my pick. Just
Before Midnight.
Yeah, so that is our first three-way split. We were pretty together on everything else.
Before Midnight's all conversation.
All right, so
Philomena's about journalism. Stand by your craft, Husain.
Maybe if I saw it.
Oh man, yeah. Unfortunately, he would have to see it.
Yeah.
You guys want to do any other ones? You want to do cinematography?
Gravity. Done.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
Yeah. All right,
John, get your head out of your ass.
You're right. We've done that.
Now
We've
that
done
Life
that.
of Pi has established that digital cinematography can win.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. I watched Skyfall again this weekend. It just makes me so mad.
And he's not coming back for the next one.
Is Prisoners nominated for cinematography?
I don't
That
think
is
so.
a good question.
Because that was also
It is.
Deakins.
Oh, is it?
It is.
And
Yeah.
it's a beautiful movie.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think you're right.
Yeah.
Who can compete with Gravity?
Look at the Earth.
Yeah, and the fact the
Thank you. That's
The
I thought
way-
you had something else going, but just look at it.
I was
Okay.
gonna have something else, but I forgot. So I thought it would just.
the way that they
No,
had to
it
set up
didn't
some of
work.
those shots,
Yeah.
and just the level of control over shit going around in 3 dimensions, you
Yeah.
know, in zero gravity, and still making it look, exciting and like just nail bitingly suspenseful at
and
times.
flinching and.
Yeah, yeah. I
10
don't.
minute opening shot. One shot. And you forget that. That good.
Yeah, I don't know how. Yeah, sorry to everyone else in this category who are not even mentioning. Even though this is the only category that Inside Llewyn Davis got nominated in, I think.
Ugh,
It
that's
didn't even get
awkward.
nominated for original song, which it should have been.
I don't think it was eligible.
No, original
Original
song.
song. It wasn't for
yeah.
original score.
Let it go, bro. Let it go all the way. Woo!
Well, I don't understand. Why is everyone so... Like, my Facebook has been blowing up with BuzzFeed of just, like, best rendition of Let It Go on YouTube. Top 5.
A lot of people love it and they want to sing.
I
Let them
don't...
sing.
Stop it. I don't care. Just move on.
I wouldn't be surprised if U2 won, though, just because they're U2
It's
and
U2.
Bono. But Let It Go. Let It Go.
Yeah,
Frozen.
yeah.
If they win, can't they let it go? No.
See what you did there. I see what you did there. All right, so we kind of just did a best original song.
Yeah.
Yeah. You two will win.
Yeah.
No.
Best original score. Do you want to do that?
Stop it.
All right.
You stop it. Shut up. I'm
Let It Go.
gonna slap you. We're gonna end this pod.
What's the original score?
Book Thief, Gravity, Herb, Philomena, and Saving Mr. Banks.
Screw it, Gravity.
Fuck it.
Husain's
Gravity.
just rolling over at this point. Fuck it, whatever. Gravity wins.
Gravity's score was so subtle.
It was.
Is
It
And you don't
really-
even realize
Yeah.
it's there.
And,
Yeah.
and
But it's
that's
like,
personally
tempo
for
sense.
me, that is the best type of score. The score that sort of blends into the background and becomes kind of the emotional like nudge.
Yeah.
It's not like a hit you over the head score, but it brings the emotional tenure of the scene in the right direction.
I didn't see Mr. Banks, but I feel like it would be your kind of typical like old school, like 80s and like 90s, like Oscar sound, like your John Williams soundtrack where the score is front and center.
yeah, a lot of it's also redux on the Sherman Brothers stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All right. So
Hey, was there a making of documentary that Gravity can take?
let me see. Documentary short.
I mean, at this point, I mean,
No.
what else can Gravity win?
documentary.
Blackfish, how was that?
Killing? I don't think Blackfish was
Blackfish
nominated.
was
not-
not
it
nominated.
wasn't.
Active Killing.
Huge oversight, first off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Act of Killing is that good. One of the strangest and just, again, ballsiest movies, probably director documentaries ever made. Probably.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen it. I take your word for it.
It's on Netflix. Go watch. It's insane.
Yeah, go
Okay.
see it on Netflix. Go home and watch it on Netflix.
Tonight.
It's
And then
amazing.
report to us next week.
It's amazing. And
That's
They got actual
I know. It's just so depressing.
mass
man.
murderers to make musicals about mass murder.
That's so depressing. I don't want to watch that.
Animated film, Frozen.
Okay, let's do animated feature film.
God, I hate you.
It's
All right, we
It
got-
will win
Let it
one.
happen.
It will win.
Disney has not won an animated film Oscar.
Oh, but it's up against a pretty tough competition this year. We've got The Croods,
funny.
Despicable Me 2, Ernest and Celestine, and The Wind Rises, which isn't even in theaters yet.
Yeah, weren't we supposed to see that this weekend?
Yeah.
But it's not in theaters yet.
God damn it.
I don't know. Yeah, all right. So they're just doing it because it's Miyazaki, even though it's a very controversial film.
Yeah.
Because of
It'll win that one, okay? Are you happy? Frozen will win that one.
Let it go. Animated short, Mickey Mouse.
Geez, you're just calling him. I haven't even.
You know, like, this was, like, his highlight when, like, oh, movies, screenwriting. No, animated stuff. Woo! I'm Husain.
Well, okay. Here's the nominations for animated short: Feral, Get a Horse,
That's Mickey Mouse.
All right, okay, Mr. Hublot, Possessions, and Room on the Broom. I have not seen any
I
of
have
these.
not
It's gonna be
seen
Mickey
any
Mouse.
of them.
Get a
Okay.
Horse is in front of Frozen. It's really good.
Okay, I have not seen any of these. I will take your word
It's
for
good.
it. Yeah, all right. So I think that's all the awards that anyone really gives a shit about.
Is there anything else
Unless
Frozen's
you
nominated
really-
that you'd like to talk about, Husain?
Really want to talk about sound mixing.
No, it's okay.
I do, actually.
I just want to preview next year. Next year, you mentioned this earlier. Big Hero 6 is coming out, animated movie.
Yes.
It is a Marvel movie. It's not Marvel Studios, but it's based on a Marvel property. Could that be the first Marvel property to win an Oscar?
You know, maybe.
Oh, man.
Well,
Captain America 2. Captain America 2, there's a lot of buzz about.
okay.
Best supporting actor, Samuel L. Jackson. I'm calling it. As
Here's
Nick
the-
Fury.
Yeah, here's the thing. The animation pool, again, not a very strong year
There's
this
no
year.
Pixar this year.
There's no Pixar this year, so
There's
that
no
means
Disney this year either.
No,
right?
Big Hero 6.
no Pixar
Oh,
this.
that is a Disney movie.
No Pixar this year.
How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Dream, yeah, but come on. I mean, no, I love How to Train Your Dragon, but it's not. It's a sequel. It's not going to win. Not a whole lot of stuff. No Miyazaki film because it went in 2013, even though it's not fucking out in theaters in the U.S. yet. But whatever. Yeah, I honestly think unless Big Hero 6 is a complete fucking flop, train wreck, disaster, which, looking at the people involved, probably not going to happen.
What about the Lego movie?
Oh yeah, you know the Lego movie is probably
Legos are Marvel Oscar winners.
yeah, it's true, and they're both
What?
Disney properties.
Lego-
Yeah, I think
There
the
wasn't any Marvel and Lego movie.
No, Lego or Marvel.
Oh,
Lego
okay,
or
okay.
Marvel.
I didn't hear the
I think
war,
I
sorry.
think probably Lego movie or Big Hero 6 are probably the shoe-ins this year.
I would be okay with Lego movie winning.
I haven't seen Big Hero 6, but it's one of the ones I'm kind of looking forward
I
to.
think it comes
'cause
out in November.
It's such an odd.
Of all the Marvel properties, that one.
Yeah, well,
It's like, okay.
first off, Big Hero 6, for those that aren't aware,
San
is
Francisco.
that's not actually in the comics. It's a Japanese superhero team. It's sort of comedic. It's not intended to be entirely serious, and it's like one of Marvel's like C properties. It's not even a B book.
It's not even a B Guardians of the Galaxy property.
Yeah, no, I would say it's like sub Guardians of the Galaxy, and for
Which
some
means
reason,
Husain's gonna in a little bit. Husain's gonna be really into it.
yeah, for some reason, they decided they wanted that was the film that they wanted to make the first animated Marvel movie that has a chance of winning anything. So yeah, it's I don't know. It seems like such an out there like oddball thing to do that I'm just wondering what's going to happen with it.
You know what? I think if they market it as a Disney movie and not a Marvel movie, I think it'll do better. I don't think the world is ready to have a Marvel movie win.
It's also it's not really a Marvel movie. It's adapted from the comics, but it's not the same. It's almost like an original property adapted from some of the like elements of Big Hero 6.
So I think if they play it up like that, it'd have a better chance
Yeah.
of winning.
Well, what it looks like is it might be like a spiritual successor to The Incredibles, which you know was a great superhero movie and a great movie.
Yeah.
full stop. So
It's better than The Watchmen.
yeah,
It's a better version of The Watchmen than The Watchmen, the movie.
kind of is.
Alright.
Is. Yeah. So anyway, that was a weird non sequitur.
Yeah.
To talk about a movie I don't think we've ever talked about on the show before, and that really has no buzz for it yet because it
Nope.
doesn't have a trailer. No one knows anything about it.
Just like 2 pictures.
But yeah, it's just the fact that it's being made makes me interested.
Yeah. So big winners on the Oscars: Gravity, 12 Years a Slave, I think you said.
Yeah.
Leo and Frozen.
Yeah. Except for Frozen.
Frozen gets.
It's gonna sweep 2 categories. Probably.
Husain's beat us over the head with it. He wins. Just Swiftfilm was calling Frozen's sweep of all animation.
They're going to give it the best picture. They're going to decide, you know what, 12 Years a
It'll
Slave?
be the.
Just kidding.
We're going to
Yeah.
add it to we're going to make it the 10th nominee at the last hour.
No, just
It'll be a dark horse candidate.
John and I have decided to just forfeit and not fight him anymore.
Yeah.
Frozen
Guardians
wins.
of the Galaxy and Frozen. I'm going to have a double feature at my house next year when both Blu-rays are out.
Yeah.
You're the worst.
Oh.
What are we seeing next? Oh, we're not seeing anything
No,
next week. We're going to be
screw it.
doing a recap of this show and the Oscars.
Well, it's not really a recap. It's
Or we're going to have a recap of the Oscars
yeah, that's what
It's
we're
like
talking
a,
about.
like
We're,
a review.
we're gonna review the Oscars and how
See if,
and how they were wrong.
yeah, all the ways that they defied us.
Just, how dare American Hustle win things?
Arrgh. Mad about hustles.
how could Frozen lose?
Yes, excellent. Like bask in your
Oh
tears.
man, if Frozen loses, I'm gonna be so happy.
I'm going to be like, ah.
how depressed you are when the Croods wins it or something.
Can Nicolas Cage accept the award, please?
Oh yeah, that actually I do want the Croods to win because for that very reason. Man,
What a shitty year for animation. Like, The Croods
Yeah.
was good, but I mean, it's like,
it's a fun film, but
it's not.
in any other year, it would probably not have been nominated.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah.
All right, so remember you can follow us on Twitter at Swiftfilm, swiftfilm.com for the words, facebook.com
Slash
Swiftfilm, and SoundCloud, which you're listening to now, or YouTube, which you're listening to now, or the iTunes podcast directory, which you're listening to now. And we'll talk to you next week when we talk about the Oscars.
Sweet.